Hey, it's Rod Lyman, and it's another Rod Talks. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about some interesting things, such as entity removal, kind of like a self help type thing. But we have to understand things first before we even jump right into it. Now, I'm not sure who sent this to me. It was sent to me a long time ago, and I don't know who wrote it or where it comes from, but it was a very interesting thing that I saw. I saved it. I save a lot of things that people send me. Um, if anybody knows where this comes from, please let me know because I'd love to let people know where it came from and who should be thanked for it. So this is an interesting thing: is that what caused souls to become lost in earthbound spirits? That's interesting because something that the cause of the earthbound condition. Okay, so when you think about this, at the death of a human, the normal transition is for an individual soul to move into the spirit realms. Loved ones that have passed before us show up at our time of death to escort us upward into the light. Angels and spirit guides are also present to assist us in the procedure. For most humans, this transition goes smoothly, but for many, it does not. There are literally billions of earthbound lost souls surrounding the earth in the limbo and of the astral plane. So now this is, do you believe this? I mean, that's the first thing, is that you have to understand, do you believe that? I have a little bit of a hard time believing that things go wrong, because I believe that everything is a choice. We make choices for everything. So when somebody says, it is meant to be, is meant to be, it's like I don't believe it. So because we have a choice in everything, and I think this is a choice also on the other side, is that we give ourselves to the universe, and that, but we have a kind of a will, a choice to go where we go and what we do, and I think it's just some of the lost souls are part of the consciousness that has not developed yet, and they're still looking for that part of them that we're always searching for. We all are searching for something. But it goes on to say that the astral realm can be described as uh, an environment surrounding the three-dimensional world on Earth. It was created to house the souls, spirits became lost or stuck in the death transition of spirit realms. Souls dwelling in the astral realm often think they are on Earth and not understanding why they can't be seen or heard except by very sensitive, medium type people. Now, that's interesting because as empath or mediums and that, we do see and feel these people. We know that they're around us and everything else, that, and they are searching for something. But I'm not saying that they're lost. They're just searching for something because they chose differently. They chose how to be different. And as you know, as a medium, we do develop our senses a little stronger, and we start seeing things a little more and everything. It's kind of interesting. There are a variety of reasons why some souls get lost after the death of their physical body, and we will discuss that ones in later on. But for now, below we're common circumstances that cause souls to stay in the astral realm rather than cross over to the spirit realm. Sudden deaths will cause persons to be very confused and lost and disorientated. Often people may not understand that they are dead, and they may wander around in a confused state until something or someone clarifies their conditions. And that's what I think this mediums and who we are, and that is to help these people to say, you know, it is time to go. It is, you will find what you're looking for on the other side instead of looking for it here, because that's what mostly what it is that a lot of us, a lot of people, they're looking for something that have passed over. They're still looking for something, but they're looking for in this realm, not in the outer realm. So it goes on. Now, remember, this is, I'm not saying I agree with everything with this, but this is just the story that I was sent. And this is what their belief system on what they're believing in, and you take it for what it is. I says with everything I teach and do and everything, remember everything is like a conglomerate of beautiful stuff, information that is given to you. You just squeeze out what doesn't work for you and keep what does work for you. And that seems to be work for me. Is that when I do that, it's like, okay, that doesn't work, but this does, and that. And so look at everything as a lesson and you're learning stuff, but just get rid of the stuff that no longer serves you. So it goes on to say, after the fear and punishment of sudden death will cause a person to be very confused, lost, and disorientated. Lots of people not understand. We already talked about that. Fear of punishment and judgment from God or angels will cause people to stay attached to the earth where they feel safe. Fear is the number one cause of earthbound spirit conditions. Well, yes, because there is such a thing as, which is interesting, is we a lot of us have grown up in fear-based situations. There's fear based in religion, beliefs, things, our belief system. There is a lot of fear that's in there that's been given to us. It's how we take it as in fear. Um, I've died a couple times, and I'm not fear. I have no fear of dying. I'm not scared of dying whatsoever. Actually, I welcome it, and I think it will be a beautiful thing. So the thing is that there is no fear. I'm going to let myself go, and I will be where I go and what I do. And there's a few people I'm going to come back and haunt. Just kidding. No, maybe not. But some of the things is like, that holds people here is revenge will hold some deceased souls to earth because they're strongly motivated to settle the score. Now that's interesting. Think about that. An unwelcome person in this earth and that always wants to settle the score. They always think there's something wrong. They will, if you don't see it their way, there's something wrong with you. They will always be unrest. And that's an interesting thought because I do believe that. I do believe that there is a lot of people, a lot of souls out here that are unrest because they want to settle the score. And that's that part of us that, you will find what you need. You will find the peace on the other side. And that's that part of being a medium, just saying, go to the other side. You will find what you need. And it will help a lot of people be unstuck. Now, the effect of an earthbound condition, is no gravity without a body. The soul is unaffected by the law of gravity. The soul is literally afloat between worlds. The lack of gravity causes people to feel ungrounded and uncomfortable. This is a disorientation, need to be comfort. We can use the analogy of a person that is out of balance, and most must hold into a cane or other walking tools in order to feel comfortable moving around Earth. The Ascended Master Saint Germain calls a space between Earth and spirit realms the no man's land. Now that's kind of like what in some of the belief systems and coming from different religions and thoughts and that purgatory, the fourth dimension. I mean, there's a lot of different things that people call this, that space in between. But there's also another thing is that we can get into that space in between and we can actually find that space in between by doing meditations. Now you understand that there's 7 layers of these aura space between us. Okay, so there's length of different aura spaces, and these are also spaces in between to all the way to the astral world, and that so it's in between the astral world of our aura and the actual celestial world of our world of our universe. So think about that. When we get and we start being able to meditate outside of our aura spectrum, that's that part that we're getting to, that no man's land that's out there, the in between. And some people call it the fourth dimension. You call it wherever you want to, but it's the in between, the purgatory, the nothingness. And that it's the most peaceful spot because that's where we start finding our peace and everything. It's pretty cool. So the results of the earthbound conditions. There are two basic categories of earthbound spirits: independent and dependent. Which that's interesting because uh, the independent lost soul is unattached. These souls may haunt houses, stay physically close to their loved ones, gravitate to the bars to hang out with alcoholics and smokers, and wander endlessly to around to these places where they found their sanctuary, their peace. The independent souls that are following addictions may eventually become attached and therefore be dependent on the individual. So remember that these remember they gravitate to a lower energy, so they gravitate to addictions. Now, addictions is a lower energy of any sort, in that. So you have to understand that there's the gravitational pull when we hang out with people of lower vibration or whatever else, and that there will be actually souls out there that are hanging around that aspect, and what they're doing is they're holding on to that energy because that's the most common energy what they find and feel, which is interesting. I find it fascinating because of it. Because when we do this and we start feeling all these beautiful, loving energies and that's out there, then a lot of us gravitate to the lower energy because we think that's what we deserve, and it's not, and that's a whole nother story. Common disturbances caused by an independent lost soul. There are many different indications of lost soul interference. The child may complain that his or her toys are being moved across the floor all by themselves, and introducing lost souls may knock things off of surfaces on the floor. You know, I walked into the kitchen one night and witnessed a bottle of ketchup on the other side of the room literally leap off the top of the cupboard and fall on the floor. At times, things may be moved in about the house, and they will appear to be in different locations. Mysteries, rattling, knocking, and scraping are signs meant to disturb and frighten the occupants of the home in the public building. Shapes and shadows may be seen moving through rooms, disappearing quickly, screaming, talking in the distance within abandoned places are signs of lost souls in the vicinity. Now, remember, they're still looking for something. They're looking for that vibration, that energy, and everything else. But they are gravitated to the lower energies and that. So think about this. If you're not making sacred space in your house and the places around you, energy is going to gravitate to that. It's going to be a lower energy that's going to gravitate to it. When you start making sacred space and bring the energy up in your house and bring the energy around you, this trapped energy isn't going to want to be around you as much. But you may hear it in the distance, and you may hear it out there. You may feel that. So something that you need to do is you keep making sacred space, cleansing your house, cleansing your space, and remember, always working on that, because people tend to drag things in on themselves. So if you have family members that come in and out of your place and that a lot, you're going to find that they are carrying some lower vibrational energy, and they may not even know that. Emotions such as uneasy, fear, dread, sadness can represent the presence of a lost soul. So if you're feeling these, this may not be your own. That you may just like close your eyes and like you're feeling it. Close your eyes and say, "Not mine, not mine, not mine." And if it tends to go away, it's not yours. And which is interesting is that a lot of this stuff is not yours. There will be exceptions to this, as an empathic person may also pick up these emotions from the living loved ones too. The same thing, not mine, not mine. But code spots and drafts also indicate a lost soul presence. Now, let's talk a little bit about the dependent lost souls. And now, a dependent soul occupies a human body that is not their own. The lost soul enters into a human through the bendu, or the mouth of God chakra, the back of the mind, and everything else. This is why we always have to have a contract with anybody that we're channeling from the bendu, the mouth of God chakra, that is in the back occiput area, or I think some medulla, they call it the medulla. and that. But remember that this is remember have contracts with every one of them. They cannot possess your body, cannot take over your body, blah blah blah. So set that intent, okay? This particular human may only be targeted because of similar vibration of addiction, emotional imbalance, and lost soul. This usually isn't intentional. No, seriously, it's not something they want to do. They're just drawn to the familiar vibration based on the law of attraction. That runs through all living things in life. The law of attraction is a universal tool for spiritual growth. It causes gravitational pull to the grounded human of similar environments. It is important to understand that it is not with evil intent 99% of the time that these attachments occur. It's just a natural process in the unnatural circumstances. It is unnatural for a soul not to cross over in spirit realms at death. And it's not. It's them searching, like I said, choosing not to yet because they're still searching for something. We will give an example of law of attraction as it works on the earth without loss of soul interference. My roommate, she does a lot of law of attraction stuff. She works within the law of attraction of Earthbound people, and it's a really interesting concept, and you should look up some law of attraction stuff too. That our Virginia Lastly, she's my roommate. She works within that. We can all think of example of a relative friend or coworker who repeatedly attracts the same relationship between the opposite sex. He or she is always a needy drama queen or king. He's always in this abusive relationship. As years go by, the same relationship problems with created over and over again. We will hear him or her cry repeatedly. Why does this always happen to me? Now, I have tons of clients that do this and say this to me as they come in. So why does this always happen to me? And we may whisper behind their backs, and I don't because I don't talk behind people's backs, but we may think about things like, when is she ever going to learn? And we think about this, and we put that energy out there, without expectation. The relationship problems, there's always about growth. If we refuse to address our growth needs, we will stay stuck in the place repeatedly in the same scenario endlessly. Yes, always and always. Even after you pass, that's when you start looking and you start finding that you're living the same path, in the same direction, in the same idealism, the same, which is, let's get out of that rut. Let's move forward. And that's that part of moving forward and knowing that we learn from our situation and we're moving on. Our next generation, our next feelings, our next whoever we are. The law of attraction draws the lost soul to a human with similar unhealed emotions or addictions. The purpose of the uh, the LOA, is the real and unhealed emotion or addiction. The lost soul will cause the unhealed circumstances to be exasperated so that eventually the circumstances come to a boil and be healed. Desperate now, the human finally seeks help from a professional, doctor, psychologist, or a medium. Much of the time, the human is unaware that they have company with their energy body. In fact, a lost soul shares the physical body, the intelligence, the emotions, and the spirit body of a human that they are attached to. This will affect one's thoughts, dreams, emotions, and memories. Oftentimes, this occupation is a transparent to human, and other times it's perplexing or disturbing. Imagine remembered dreams of lifetimes that's not your own. Huh. Think about that. How many times have we done that? That we've had dreams going, what? Whose dream is that? That is one of the first signs when a patient of mine comes into me and talks to me and we talk about dreams. And they say these dreams do not even seem like they're my own. They don't make any sense to me. That means there's an attachment. Somebody's trying to get information to you through your dreams. This person had three attachments most of their life, and one of these was a woman that had five attachments for her own. Uh, it says that I had three attachments most of my life, and one of these was a woman that had five attachments of her own. This means I had eight souls attached to me. One night I had a stream of dreams come into my awareness. They were somewhat familiar to me, but I knew they were not my dreams. I was also confused and decided to put this dilemma away in a filing drawer for the future. It was several years later when I learned I had these attachments. That so many perplexing issues in my life finally made sense. Of course, the stream of dreams were not my own. That's that part of that when you go to somebody that actually helps disconnect you from your attachments and let go on that, you start having your own mindset back. You start having your own dreams. You start having your own life back because that is an important part. That's just so important for it. At the time, this person discovered that his attachments had very strong connection with his spirit guides and angels. This enabled me to figure out intensely how to release the attachments from my body and my aura. I began to research spirit release therapy, which is SRT, and it was something I also do, and I love this stuff. And a study that works that the authors of the subject of lost soul attachments was understood by psychologists in treatment of their clients with the assistance of a spirit guides. I was also able to develop a procedure which would help others to understand the subject and release attached souls for themselves and others. Now, here's a fascinating thing about this is remember that when you start realizing you have an attachment, your life has been taken over by another person and everything else, you have to know who you are. If you don't know how you feel, how your energy is, and what you are, and what essence that you possess, you're going to have a hard time with this. And it's going to be a difficult time to understand. You're going to have a hard time understanding what happens to you and how to get rid of it because we don't want to lose part of ourselves. And a lot of times when we start doing detachment, replacement, and everything else, then is we do lose a part of ourselves if it's not done correctly. And everything is done right the way it's supposed to be. I'm just not. I'm just saying that there's sometimes that if somebody comes to you and want to detach stuff from you, that really know them, really know who it is, have faith in that person because as they do it, that it's what is being replaced. Remember that what is being replaced. Spirit release therapy. SRT. Taking and getting rid of what no longer serves you, the attachments that are attached to you, making sure that the person that is doing it knows what they're doing. Okay? Have faith in it. If it seems like they're doing it for their own benefit and they really think that it's their own benefit as they're replacing it, they're going to replace the stuff with their own energy. That doesn't work. Remember, what is attached is taking up space. So it either moves something within you or was removed from you. So when you're doing this SRT, remember that everything has to be replaced that is yours, not of somebody else's. Always remember that. It's just something that I want you guys to really remember because there is shysters out there. There are people out there that will take your money and they'll remove what they want and put what they want in there. Make sure it's for the good of all. That is one of the best sayings you can say forever, for the good of all. There's so much more about this uh, spirit release therapy. There's so much more about what we can do and everything else. That it's about finding ourselves and who we are. When you really truly find yourself, you spread out that energy and you expand your energy, and nothing can stay attached to you that is not yours. That is one of the biggest secrets that I'm going to share with you, how to take care of these attachments and how to take care of you and yourself. Yes, there's so much more to this. There's so much more. There's a belief system that you have to really understand and know that there's more to this, but the secret is just knowing yourself. So how you can tell the difference between yourself and somebody else, and that there's usually kind of like chronic elements and diseases, and there's things that's going on in your body that really isn't yours. Okay, there's a sickness that's in you. Now, there's a karmic value. I mean, if you try to get something removed 3 times and it doesn't want to budge or remove, most likely it's a karma thing, and you have to look back and go through what is the karma thing. Okay, but also rethink about this when you're actually sending your energy out. Now, this is a huge thing. When you're actually vibrating and sending your frequency and your energy out of your heart, and it's just a wave of beautiful energy. Don't blast it. No, 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 no. Blasting causes more holes. Reverberation and waves actually sending out through your aura. Okay? If you start feeling, when you're doing this, an unexplained feeling of guilt, okay? That's one of the first things. If you start feeling guilty, like you did something wrong and you didn't, that means that most likely there's an attachment of not yours. Feelings of darkness or creepiness or eeriness, that's another thing. Just remember that eerie feeling that it's like, okay, this doesn't feel right. Sexual interface are attacked in the groin area or into the first base chakra area. And that if you feel like you're being attacked in that area, or you feel as you're saying this reverberation out and you're feeling like there's something more to it in that a sexual way, yes, most likely it's an attachment. Feeling like you're being witness to your own life. In other words, stepping outside yourself and watching yourself. That is interesting because we do go into a being where we can see ourselves, but when we are actually using our own vibration in doing this, we should not be stepping outside of ourselves and seeing ourselves, because universal energy is where we step outside. Physical, internal energy is where we stay and watch ourselves in a sense. Okay, we stay within our body. We know what's happening. That's really interesting. Hmm? Feeling depleted of energy, that's a huge thing. Suffering unusual mood swings. Now, I see this all the time in a lot of clients that they say, I don't understand my mood swings. Is it this? Is it this? Am I going? I already went through menopause. I already did this. Men after their divorces, and that maybe is it this? No, it may be an attachment that is being there that is actually causing these mood swings, and it probably not yours. Uncharacteristic impulses and behaviors, unexplained bursts of anger, sadness, and emotion. Oh, that's crazy, because when you have these uncharacteristics and unexplained bursts, blah, 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 and that, that's just who I am. Well, no, you may even have an attachment a long time ago that has never been released. And it may be a karma thing that you need to take a look, especially if you get a cleaning and cleansing every 3 months or whatever. A feeling that this isn't me. That's huge. Hearing inner voices and a feeling that it isn't me. It just doesn't feel right. Remember that. Remember who you are. Wondering if it was you that said that. Did I say that? Worsening in an addiction, you drinking more, smoking more, or whatever, doing more things that probably it's an attachment. Poor memory, concentration, confusion, usually an attachment. Anxiety, depression without apparent reasons, an attachment. Unexplained physical problems or pain with no obvious causes. Medically unexplained physical problems. Unexplained fears, phobias, and panic attacks. Usually dramatic weight loss and weight gain. Headaches or migraines. Stiffness of the neck and shoulders. Suicide thoughts and dark thoughts. These are all part of that. These are things that we understand that there's such a negative in us that we are not negative people, but there's a negative in us that we feel this is negative, and we start feeling negative towards other human beings. Most likely we have something else going on. And that's interesting. Some of us live in the most of our lives without knowing that we have this attachment. You know, women have been occupying people for many years. Okay, and what I mean by this is women know this. Women have a inner feeling, an inner knowing that something isn't right before a man does. And this is why women, in a lot of ways, move forward and grow faster in the spiritual aspect than men, because they do have this hard understanding that this is who they are. And when a woman goes, something just doesn't feel right. And this is when the divorce goes through and you start pulling away from other people and that, because something just doesn't feel right. They know it. And they kind of feel that they try to get away from these addictions and other things, and addiction to men or anything. This is something that's interesting. Now, man, it takes a longer time, and not me speaking from personal and understanding that this is life and I get it. It took me longer to understand than most women. And it did well. It will take you a longer time to understand that there's actually things more to this than ever. And as a woman, wake up, move forward. Because when you start moving, that vibration gets so strong that nothing can stay attached to you. Nothing can stay attached to you except for karma. And I'm going to tell you this: when you vibrate at a high frequency in that, and you stay and maintain that, it erases the karma away. Now, you may not believe this, you may not know this, but it really truly does. It will erase that karma. A high vibration is like an etch and sketch. And I've always tell my students before class that shake your head, it's etch and sketch. What you knew before is not what you know now, because everything's going to change. Everything will change. And it's a beautiful thing. I want you to realize that, and I want you to know that. You guys are so awesome. You guys are beautiful. Take hold of your life. You are loved, and I am blessed. See me myself and more stuff on ReikiRod.com. See what I'm doing, my classes and that. Sign up for my beautiful newsletter on ReikiRod.com. Come for some more information that I will be doing more of these classes and be doing more of this information stuff on Rod Talks. Stay beautiful. You're loved, and I am blessed. Have a great day.